Hello, friends. This is Barry, and you're watching Barry and the PI. Today, I'm going to talk about something different than what I usually do. And foreigners come to Asia, and they go to Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, Japan, South Korea, but not as many go to this country of Taiwan. Uh, I came over here and as I met Maida in Hong Kong, and she spent the day. She and her friends invited me to go along with them. They'd show me around Hong Kong. And we seemed to really hit it off well. And I said, this is a girl for me. And she has a good sense of humor. She spoke very good English. Uh, she was beautiful. And so I said, this is the one, I think. I had scheduled from Hong Kong, I was going to go to the Philippines, and then I was going to go to Taiwan, and then I go to uh, uh, South Korea. And so I traveled around the Philippines for a few days, climbed Mount Apo, at least part of the way up. It was steam was coming out of the top of it, along with the sulfur dioxide. So I didn't want to go to the crater or anything like that. And then I'd fly back. Each time I'd fly back to Hong Kong and spend a Sunday with Maida, and then I would leave and go to these other places. And I said, I think I'm trying to see if I can find me a job here teaching, because I was a certified teacher in the U.S. I was teaching on the Navajo Indian Reservation in Arizona. And there's not many women, single women on the Navajo Reservation. So I often had to get girls to come and fly in to Phoenix, and I'd pick them up, and they'd come and spend a week or two with me. So I was kind of lonely up there. Lots of things to see and do, beautiful places. But that's why I came. That's one of the reasons I came to Asia. Plus, I had always had an interest in Asia. Uh, I took some Asian study courses at the University of Texas, and I thought about majoring in that. And so my interest in Asia was already there. My interest in Asian girls was already there too. And one of the ladies that I got to come out to the reservation was a Vietnamese American girl, and we're still friends. Anyway, so I decided that I was going to find me a job over here while I was traveling around other parts of Asia. And I knew that South Korea had a lot of teaching jobs. And I was walking around and I saw this notice uh, for needing English teachers, and it's LG Corporation, and it's this big corporation in South Korea. And I went in there and interviewed, and uh, what they wanted me to do was teach at their new executive office training center, and to teach executive members of the corporation English. That sounded good. But I'd also, when I went to Taiwan, I had been offered a job teaching kids, English to kids. And I like working with kids. That's one of the reasons I became a teacher to begin with. And so I would consider both of those jobs back and forth. But Taiwan has a pretty moderate climate. It does snow there, but usually just on the tallest mountains, like the Jade Mountain, which is the tallest mountain in Taiwan. I knew something about Taiwan, uh, just because I'm interested in politics. And Taiwan, well, the Chinese got there, the nationalists, they got defeated by Mao Zedong in the Red Army, and they, just before they were going to be overrun, Chiang Kai-shek was the leader of call themselves the Kuomintang, or KMT. They raided the Forbidden City and all the museums and place storage of the treasure of China. They put that stuff on ships and went across the strait to Taiwan. Taiwan had been a Portuguese colony for a while, and what little government they had was pretty easy to overthrow. So they carried all the great treasure of China. You had to go to Taiwan to see it. And so I decided to go to Taiwan and teach kids. And I made a deal with the school that every 2 months I would get a 4-day weekend. And so I'd fly to Philippines or to Hong Kong first, see Maida and spend Sundays with her. And so I started teaching in Taiwan. Now, at first, I went with a chain of schools, of English schools there. And so at first they had me go down to the southernmost city, Kaohsiung. It's a big city, second biggest city, I think. And they let me teach for maybe a month or so down there. And then there were two other, one an English guy and a Canadian woman. And they gathered us together and they drove us up to the schools that we were going to be assigned to. The son of the owner of this chain of schools he had a real pretty Chinese girlfriend, a Taiwanese girlfriend, and she was the one that was taking us around. She had lived in America, went to high school in America, so she could speak good English. And so she was kind of in charge of us three new teachers. And so we drove up to, first stop was in Long Tan, which is kind of in the middle of, south of Taipei. Small city, probably maybe 10,000 people, or maybe even less than that. Uh, when we, this British guy was a young guy fresh out of college, and the Canadian woman, she was the same way. She was younger and fresh out of college. And me, I was an old guy. And we get to the school, and this is in the morning. So in this school, uh, they showed us around, and they said, they told us, they said, we would like for you to do a demonstration teaching. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And the others said, no, no, not unplanned like this. So they refused to do a demonstration. And these were all little kindergartens, 4 or 5-year-old kids. So I get in there and I just, wow, I gave this little song that my Vietnamese friend had taught me. She was a singer and singer-writer. A little children's song called Alligator Pie. And I did that and sat down on a little tiny chair and taught the kids that, and they loved it. And they made me sing it over about 3 times. I would do it with them because I had little hand movements and stuff with it. And then I did some other stuff, and the kids ate it up. All those, they all got up, they all come and hugged me and stuff. And so I went and finished that and went back in. They said, "Well, you did great, Barry." And the principal, who was the mistress of the owner, Japanese owner of the school, a lot of little intrigues like that. She wanted me too, but Angel was girlfriend or fiance of the owner's son. She had plans for me teaching somewhere else, and so they signed that Canadian woman to teach there. And they went on to the next one. And then same kind of things. And that was the one for the British guy. And then she took me to another school in Miao, which is an old traditional village. Nice place. And that was her school. So she had me at her school. Lots of stuff. But I liked that first school. I was ready for that and eventually, after the other 2 teachers quit and they left and found the better places, I guess. And so one time they asked me to come down there to the one in Longtime, the first school, and teach a parents class. And so I did. She had to drive me down there in her Mercedes. So I did that. The parents loved it. And they were really pressuring the principal to get me down there. And the principal was pressuring Angel to get me down there. So eventually she did relent, and I went down there, and I taught there for a year. And I was going to stay, but unfortunately, the principal had brain cancer, and so she wasn't there to organize a big summer program, which we had like 200 and something kids enrolled for that summer program the first year, and they didn't have anybody, and so my classes were cut down to 3 classes a week, I think. That's not enough money. Even though they offered me more money, I looked elsewhere. But one thing I can say is that the Taiwanese people always treated me very well. Uh, Occasionally, some would get pissed. You'd come across some old guy, and but majority of the people, I mean, the kids all loved me. They really, and I got letters from parents uh, thanking me for being so patient and caring with their kids and stuff. There's a lot of psychic benefits that made being there a really good time in my life. And also was there that we had the 7.3 earthquake about 12:30 at night or in the morning. That woke me up, and that was the first big one I'd been in. So Taiwan is a really nice place. There are a lot of beautiful girls there. I also have over 100,000 Filipinas and Thai women that worked in factories. They work as domestic helpers and stuff like that. So I met a lot of pretty Filipino girls there too. It's a has a pretty high standard of living. There's a lot of American restaurants or that cater to the English-speaking crowd. Uh, lots of parks. I know the people would take me. The parents would come and take me with them on a trip. They're going to this beautiful lake or this place because they're usually it's the daughters. They really love me, and they said, a daughter says you're the best English teacher that she's ever had. And that's why we came to get you. And he ended up putting in an air conditioner in my house. They had rented, got me an old Chinese house on an alleyway. And it's kind of run down a little bit. Sometimes the roof would leak. But they took care of me. And at one school, the next school I went to was in a suburb of Taipei, and it was all kindergarten. And kids loved me there too. As a matter of fact, the owner they would take me places. And one of the things is that they took me to was the National Palace Museum, uh, and that's where all the treasure the that the nationalists, the Kuomintang, had brought over from China is stored at and on the exhibit. They said that there's so much there that they could put a new exhibit in every week for like 50 years or something like that before they would even be able to show all the stuff that they had. And so the people were just great. I made friends. One of the things I would do if I had to go someplace in Taipei, I'd stand there by a bus stop and look at the street and have this questionable, confused look on my face. And usually some girl, female university student would stop. Can I help you with? Yeah, how do I get to this park? How do I get to this? And they would, I'll go with you. I'll show you. So she rode with me, showed me where to get off, which way to go. Nice people like that. And I eventually started doing private tutoring, and they helped me get set up with some Angel. No, not Angel. That was another woman who had lived here in the U.S. She helped she found a little 9-year-old girl who had been in English-speaking classes from kindergarten on up to now as a private tutor. So I went to her house. Her parents would go off into the red room, and we would sit there and go over. This girl was smart. She was good too. I mean, she would ask me, why? Why is it that way? Why? What does this mean? Well, there's several meanings of it. She was like that. I just loved her. She was a wonderful little girl. So I did 2 times a week with her, and it got me another one. It's a businessman and his 11-year-old son. He wanted me to tutor his 11-year-old son, and so but when I started there, he said, "Come on up to my office and spend an hour with me too." So I had 2 hours there, 2 days a week. I would catch the bus over there to their house, and then he would drive me home. So we got to talk a lot. Really nice guy. He owned an import-export business. And he was driving a BMW sedan, and had a nice house up there in that high rise. And he and I became good friends. He would take me places. We went to KTV. And so Taiwan people, and also one of the big things, while I was there, after 30 years of KMT rule, the Democratic Progressive Party defeated them. Oh, they lost the election to the DPP. And after that, they were out in the streets and people were beating the Kuomintang guys for losing the election, and it was something. And so I got to see the transition from the Nationalist Party to a Democratic Party. And so that was a big thing. I was happy to see that. Uh, but the people were just treated me very well. And I enjoyed the kids. Oh, they were so just amazing to me. And so try stopping in there. It's a lot of fun in Taipei, and some beautiful countrysides, and uh, Hualien, I think, yes, it is. Uh, Jade Mountains, 13,000 feet up. Uh, Lots of lakes, and their celebrations, their temples, festivals and stuff are a lot of fun. Lion dances and dragon dancers and stuff like that. So, a lot to be fun to be had in Taiwan. So, make it a stop sometime. Tell them Barry sent you. All right, I better get off here. I've already rambled on enough. So, uh, y'all have a great day. Take care of your family, your dog, pets, and adios, amigos and amigas. Hook 'em horns too. See you again, maybe tomorrow.